we gonna get right into it. We not even gonna waste time. Now the first question. Matter of fact, no. Let me ask you. How you doing, man? How you been?
Good. Life be lifing. I tell you that much. Life be lifing. Overall, I'm doing pretty well. Sold a beat here and there. Got my first sponsorship on TikTok. So
Oh,
that's good.
wow, I did not know that, man. That's what's up.
Moving up a little bit, moving up a little bit.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm. For those of you that don't know, this man not only is he a musical genius, but he's also very funny. So make sure that you check him out.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
All right. So our first question, where are you from?
I am from Jackson, Mississippi, West Jackson to be exact, which is kind of funny. I was born in West Jackson, moved to North Jackson, and ended up moving out back to West Jackson. So from some of my old Southern boy and everything.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Now, at what age did you start learning how to play music?
Uh, I've been playing drums ever since I was two. So I guess we can say that I started at two. 2013. I think I was probably about 20 years old and 2021 something around there. And that's when I started actually learning keys and organ and everything. And I've been playing all of that pretty much ever since.
Oh, okay, okay. So you said around 20 or 21 you started playing keys?
Yeah,
Wow. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what
20 years.
so what brought that on?
It's crazy because I would be like I would hear stuff and I would just go play around on the piano or whatever at my house, I believe. And Mary had a little lamb or something like that, or whatever. And I'm just playing the melody or whatever's in my head or whatever I hear, and I would start playing by ear or whatever. And eventually they were like, "You wanna take piano lessons?" I was like, "No, absolutely not," because I'm gonna like it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna want to stop. So there's no point. Let's not do it. The next day, I'm sorry, that next Saturday, they're like, "Get up, it's time for piano lessons." I'm just like, uh,
Come again?
right? We're not listening to what we said last week. So I was in piano lessons, but the crazy part is I never knew any of what I was playing. The guy would just teach me songs. So it's like I'm playing songs, and I'm playing songs, but I don't know what key I'm in. I don't know anything. So whenever anybody asks me, "Oh well, who taught you how to play?" Me, I taught me how to play because I had to go back and learn all the basics over again. Not over again. I had to learn them for the first time because I was never taught them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, man, no, that's dope. I didn't even know that. I figure you've been playing piano since like probably at least age 3 or 4.
If I was, I'd be cold. I would be dope if I was playing 16. That would have been great.
Now, when you first started out, did your parents encourage you in this musical journey?
Um, in music, yeah, I would say they wouldn't ever discourage me. Then I had a drum set at two, and I'm never gonna forget it. I had a drum set. I'm just playing on my drum set. I'm a little kid. Of course, I didn't have any structure, and I didn't have anybody to teach me at the time. My cousin came over, and he broke it. And I
Right.
remember. Oh, I remember this. I was I wanted to fight him for years. I didn't have another drum set till I was probably about 11 or 12. They finally bought me a drum set, and I started playing in my church.
Oh wow.
And then my dad was doing drum lessons for a little bit. He was, teaching me, taking me, I'm sorry, for a little bit, and then that kind of faded out. I guess we all got too busy because I was doing a whole lot when I was a kid. I was in band, I was in karate, I was doing a lot. And then like whenever they saw something like, oh, he looked like he'll be good at that, musically, really, it's like, hey, well, you know what, let's try to push him because they saw that I did have potential on the keyboard. That's why they wanted me to go ahead and start in piano lessons and everything. So they were definitely encouraging and I know I was getting on their nerves. I was on the back of my daddy's seat, beating with sticks, just beating on the sticks every time church was over. I'm over there on the organ, just doing something. They never said anything. There was never, hey, stop, be quiet, stop beating on stuff. It was never any of that. It was just, hey, he doing his thing, he learning, beating on my mama pots and all of that. And she was like, boy. But for the most part, my parents have always definitely been encouraging with my music for sure.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. It's always good and important to have a, I guess, a strong family to back you up, or
Oh, absolutely,
supporters. You know what I mean? That's
absolutely,
that's how a lot of young people in church, ended up getting their little break. Like I remember, I was 14, and I would tell everybody, like even before then, like I had been playing drums like probably about like 4 or 5 years at that point, but nobody knew. One day, my church is having a crusade,
hmm
and I'm literally, messing around on the drums or whatever. One of the guys from my church is like, "Yo, get off of that." And then after that, one of my church members was like, "Nah, he plays drums." And then he was like, "Ah, yo, let me get your contact information." That night, and I remember it distinctly. For whatever reason, the drummer that was supposed to show up that night for the, I guess you could say the concert, never showed up.
yeah,
So they asked me to play. So my first gig was playing for a dude that, he had some songs, right? Like he played on harmonica, but he needed some backup musicians. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was me and some other dude on keyboard and probably another guy. And that was my first, I want to say that was my first professional gig, even though I didn't get paid. Like at 14, somebody saw that, I had potential. Yeah, we
Right.
got people on Facebook here, being funny. My boy asked him if he can play some Ray Charles.
Hey, listen. I don't go live playing anything on purpose because got requests. Nah, we gonna play what I know. That's what that's what we doing today.
Exactly, man. All right, so now, who were your musical influences growing up?
All right. So I caught up on like a lot of secular music late. Growing up, I grew up Pentecostal or Kojic, Church of God in Christ. Um, so it was a lot of stuff. My parents, they were old school because that's how they would talk. We didn't get to really listen to. So once I finally got out and heard a little bit of music, it was first person Michael Jackson for sure. Love Michael Jackson. That was my favorite artist for the longest, and I still love him to this day. Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, I want to say Stevie Wonder, and it's somebody else. I can't think of the name at this moment, but definitely top at the top of the list is definitely Michael Jackson from pretty much every era.
Okay. I mean, you can't go wrong with the King of Pop. I mean, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early
Oh
2000s.
yeah.
I mean, take your pick. And I saw on YouTube there's this song, off the wall, right? Same name of the
Mhm.
same album. And the way that, I don't know if you remember that song, but in the beginning it's like, ooh, ooh, and he put all these harmonies together, and I'm thinking it's a bunch of background singers or some instrument that's playing, and it's all Michael. Like, now that he's been gone, like, you notice a lot of people are putting out some unreleased stuff. They're putting out musical stems.
Yeah.
So when I hear somebody break down off the wall, I'm like, yo, or to break down how he did the harmonies for Thriller.
Oh yeah. I listened to Rock with You. I actually came across it on TikTok. Somebody had the harmony stems, just straight vocals, and it was just like they were going through each one of his harmonies, and I was just like, he had harmonies in there that didn't even fit the song. That when you put them together, it was just like, wow, okay, that's crazy, and it just fit perfectly. I'm just like, that's wild, that's wild. The man was good. It was good.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when you look at Mike, everybody's like, yo, he can't play an instrument. But what he used to do was he would take a tape recorder, or he would go into the studio, and he, line by line, he would play a part. He would do the drums, he would do the piano, he would do the bass line. When you look at how he constructed Billie Jean, all he had to do was go and grab
The
the
actual instrument.
musicians. So everything that he did he did on his own with a little bit of help from musicians to kind of like, all right, this is the direction that the song is going to go in. This is how this harmony would sound if I tweak it here or there, So, and I remember, I think he was being questioned for some song, right? I'm not sure if it was Who Is It or some other joint, but basically he was sitting in I think it was a deposition, 1993, and basically some lady had said that she wrote this particular song. Mike was like, okay, this is how I break everything down. He started doing the beatbox and all these different things. And you saw how he put it together. There is an interview he did, I believe, with, I want to say Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Either her or Diane Sawyer, where he was breaking down some of the songs that he did on his Dangerous album and how he composed them. But you can't go wrong with that guy. I mean, if
Oh
he
yeah.
was still here today, I guarantee you he would probably be writing for some of the hottest acts right now. That's all I can say.
Probably no, not probably. Absolutely would be, man. And arranging for him too, man, was dope. Man,
Exactly.
was dope.
It's unbelievable. Now, what obstacles did you face as a young musician?
I would say probably lack of resources. Genuinely, it was really lack of resources. Because again, like I said, when I was 2, I had a drum set and that was broken, and like I didn't get another one for like 10 years. So only thing I had was broken sticks that I got from like drummers that was like, oh well, yeah, you can have it. They broke, and just beating on stuff and trying to hop on the set after church and not really having structure as a child as far as music as a young musician. So if I had somebody teaching me and showing me, hey, this is a double stroke, this is that and that, and hopping on the keys and like from an early age, if I actually had that, I feel like I would have been a lot further along than where I am now. And so it was really mostly lack of resources, and I don't blame my parents for anything. They had 4 kids, so uh, yeah, everybody ain't got the money like that. They did what they could when they could. But I feel like if I actually had a drum set consistently, I would be able to practice more. Um, I would be able to, I would have been able to elevate. But I feel like really it was lack of resources and then not having that structure as a young musician. So it was everything I was kind of learning on my own. Learning what a double stroke roll was, learning what this is, learning how to play this, learning how to stay in the pocket, learning what a pocket was. I was kind of learning everything as I went along.
Right. And I think more or less most of us had that experience. Like I didn't really have a music teacher per se when I first started out. Um,
Yeah.
my dad he gave me some of the rudiments to follow, and I remember in the beginning, like when I first got the set, we didn't really have the cymbals. We just had the tom toms and the snare and the floor tom. And little by little, in a few months, we got the I guess the hi hats and the cymbals. But the most important thing that he taught me was, matter of fact, no, we did have the hi hat. The most important thing he taught me was to stay in the pocket.
Yeah.
And so I was just, it took me so long to get it in there, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, what is this? And I remember when I first got my drum set, me and my brother, we were learning together at the same time.
Right.
And basically, you know, like he would hear my dad play and then he would be able to mimic it and all that. But one day I'm downstairs in the basement and I'm playing, and I'll never forget this, right? I'm playing and I'm finally I'm in the pocket, right?
Right.
So my brother opens the door. He doesn't even go downstairs. He's like, "Dad?" So he don't answer. So the only other person could be is me. So after that, I have to say that
Okay.
he
Okay, I hear you down there, young buck.
he
I hear you.
he kind of bowed out gracefully. But as I got older, I learned so much. Like this. Like I'll be honest with you, like I can't really do a single stroke roll, but as far as it is with like doing rolls on the drums or just doing like, I don't know how to put it. Like I could go and do like do 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 do. I can do that stuff, because I've learned over the years. Okay, this is how I can incorporate things while I'm playing snare. I can go back and forth and be in between and all that. So I've
Right.
learned there is a way to do it. You don't have to make things complicated. It can be simple, but whatever it is that you're playing, you have to. I would say you shouldn't think about it too much because it's something that should just come naturally. If you're thinking about it too hard, it's not going to come out right. There's
Oh
times
yeah.
when I'm playing and I might miss the symbol because I tried to do a complicated roll. You know, just
Right.
keep it simple because sometimes you might be feeling yourself. And in the interview I had last week with a friend of mine, he was playing piano at church and all that, and then some other pianist came in and the dude just took over everything. And the guy was like, "Yo, you go ahead, man, you get back on." He's like, "Nah, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm all right."
Like, I'm cool. You got it.
Yeah, because like pianists will get humbled in a minute. Like he said he was really feeling himself, and then he was like, "Okay, all right, I know when I'm defeated."
Right.
And well, going back to what you said about if you're thinking about it too much, that's where you start messing up. My brother played for my church, so I'm like, bro, just chop sometime. He was like, man, I don't be want to mess up, mess up. It's fine. That's how you learn. And he was like, he'll try to do something. Oh man, it's like you're thinking about it too much. And he's good. Like he's really good, and he's a good pocket player too. It's just like don't think about it so much. Just feel the music. Just go with it. So yeah, I agree with you on it. If you're thinking about it too much, it ain't gonna. It's just not gonna. It ain't gonna flow right. So
Exactly. Like even in the same process, I guess when I'm doing beat making, it's like I want to get that chord change. I want to be able to do those chords perfect. I want to be able to chop the drums this way and stuff. Sometimes it doesn't end up that way. I might be downstairs for like an hour and change, and I'm like, yeah, this is not coming together. Let me come back to the studio another time.
right, yeah, those overnight refreshes or resets, yeah, they definitely help because it's been them times where I'm trying to make something. I'm just like, that don't sound right. I don't like that. Take a break, go to sleep, wake up the next day refreshed, and it's like, okay, I hear what I was trying to do, and now I can execute it. So I got you on that one too. I feel you.
Exactly. And now that we're talking about music, what made you want to get into rap music, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I actually have a book. I ain't gonna say a full book. I have a book of poetry because I was already writing poetry, and what I feel about pretty much any music, R&B, rap, or whatever, hip hop, whatever you're doing, especially hip hop, genuinely. I'm sorry, generally, I feel like hip hop is just poetry with music, with instrumentation behind it. And so I was already writing poems and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, this flows well. I like this, and it was just like I can rap, I could do that too, and I just kind of like the way flowing, like I like the way it flows when I say certain things, or I like that, or this sound good, and I was like, one day I'm gonna write my own rap, and I had this little app on my iPod Touch back in like high school, and it had the T Pain app. I don't know if anybody even remember that. The T Pain app, and it had different beats on there that you could sing to, you can rap to it, and all you needed was a mic, some type of mic and earphones. So I started writing stuff, and I was like, this is nice. So that's pretty much I just from poetry to just putting music with the poetry, and I just enjoy like different rhymes, different similes, different metaphors that I can come up with, and all of that. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. Okay, okay. I mean, I think that's dope. Everybody ends up getting into music one way or another. They might hear a friend rap, or it's like, oh well, this is the cool thing to do. I'll tell you how I got started. Really, I wouldn't say that I intended to be a rapper, but like back around eighth grade, I tried to freestyle. Couldn't really freestyle for nothing. And
Yeah.
then when I got to about 10th grade, I started writing little raps here or there, but I would write them in my head and I would memorize them so much to the point that I didn't need to look at a paper. And those raps I've probably forgotten them by now. It's been so long. We talking 2006, you know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
like long ago. But I remember 12th grade, I would try to rap so badly, and every rhyme, like I understand. That was the word that kept coming up, and it just wasn't gelling, wasn't sounding good.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when I got to college, and this was the eye opener for me, my friend was like, "Yo, come to the studio, man. Like, you say you do music, so come through. I got the mic and everything." And after that, I don't know what, something must have took place in me where there was a definite change, because immediately I started writing poetry, and the poetry turned into these words that I was able to just rap, and everything just came out the way it needed to. And I'm like, yo, I don't know, maybe I needed that push. Maybe it was the studio that really put me on, was like, yo, now you have the space to write. And you gotta imagine, I'm in school full time. You know what I mean? Wasn't really working. I was just doing school, and I'm in college. And I wouldn't say I had freedom, but there were some afternoons I get out of school and I would go to my boy's house. Like throughout the end of the first semester and the second semester, I was in there in the studio like nonstop. And then all of
Right.
a sudden, you know, dude would start dubbing me and the rest of my boys. His mom would be like, "Oh, he's not here." Meanwhile, homeboy is sleeping in his crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand. You know what I mean? But it got me to a point where I was like, "Yo," and back then I didn't know what bars was. I didn't differentiate choruses. Like I wrote choruses, but like my bars used to be like 52 bars long. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
One
the
could,
whole song is a verse.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So my joint was literally what you call it? Two verses in one, and I'm like, yo. But when I got to, I want to say my final year of college, I was writing a song one day, and my brother was like, yo, you don't know how to write 16 bars? I was like, no. So I watched the video one day, and remember back then they had Expert Village.
Hmm.
And Expert Village used to teach you everything, like, driving and all this other stuff. So I wrote 16 bars and I never turned back. And then just recently I've been doing ad libs. Like me and my boy, we do music together. He's a solo artist as well. He does his own thing aside from what we do. And he was like, yo, you gotta put in ad libs to add something to the song.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I learned, and my dad used to tell me this all the time, like, yo, you can't sound monotone like when you rap. You have to have some type of excitement. I'm like, yo, I do. But I listened to the old stuff and I was like, nah. And I took his advice and I ended up getting better, you know? Um, Now, I know that as you play music at church, right? I
Yeah.
believe you're an MD, musical director.
Yeah.
Now, what's the hardest part of being an MD?
People's attitudes. Because I do it for both churches, and it's not. I'm not just over the musicians. I'm also over the choir and the praise team as well. And it's like dealing with everybody's attitudes. Everybody doesn't have an attitude, but at the same time, everybody got something going on sometimes. So it's just like getting everybody to do what they're supposed to do. Genuinely, that's like the most difficult thing to deal with. And excuses for certain things like, well, I gotta do this. I'm like, all right, I gotta do this too. I gotta go pick the music, I gotta learn the music, I gotta play music, and I gotta teach it. So the rehearsals, sometimes, or getting people to do the rehearsals and all of that, that'd be the most frustrating part until everybody do what they're supposed to do. But during service, for the most part, it kind of flows. We do what we got to do, and as long as everybody watching, we push through, and it be be no problem for real. But the hardest part is dealing outside of the services. It's like dealing with people not doing what they're supposed to do, and then sometimes that does transfer into the actual services. That's definitely the hardest and most frustrating part.
Yeah, cause I don't know if I heard you say something. I don't know if it was this week or the week before. You said something about people getting into the I guess the spirit and kind of just veering off and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Man, okay. Short version of that, basically, I was saying like, I feel like people try to use, oh well, I felt the Holy Spirit as an excuse to veer off and do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been several times where it's just like, okay, well, the Holy Spirit is going to give you focus, and at the same time, He's not going to take you one way, especially if you're not leading it. You
Right.
know, He's not going to take you personally one way and leave everybody else going a different way.
Of course.
And I posted a video, and I was like, y'all remember when I said something about God to, still give you focus even when you're feeling them while you're singing and playing? And I was like, this is what I was talking about. And it was a video of a band, and like dude was feeling, like I could tell he was feeling the Holy Spirit and he was feeling the music, but at the same time he was still leading the way that he needed to, telling everybody 3, 4, 5. He was feeling it. He wanted to get off the keyboard, but at the same time he's still watching and he's still directing the way he needed to. I feel like God ain't gonna put nobody in any type of confusion, and that's my personal opinion, But like we can watch, we can feel God and still watch and pay attention. That's all I'm saying. So
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because sometimes you may do certain things in rehearsal, you practice with the crew, and you feel like, okay, everybody has it, tomorrow they're gonna be on point. And then tomorrow somebody's singing the wrong note, or they singing too high, and it's like you really can't say nothing. You really want to be like, yo, what? That's not what we practice. You can't say that.
my facial expression, people will tell me, I didn't even realize it at first. Like people will tell me with my facial expression, I'm just like,
like really?
like, and it's like it's hard to do it convey it in a nice way while you're playing, because you're focusing on so many different things at one time. So it's just like, so it kind of comes across rude, but you don't really mean it that way. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, we did this yesterday. What were you doing? So
Exactly. I remember last week. Now I'm not the director or whatever, but me and the praise team, we had rehearsal, and the person that was leading it, she did her thing, and everybody knew what they were singing. Then the day came, the next day, Saturday morning, and we're singing one of the songs, and everything's going well, and I noticed immediately, like, yo, it's in a higher register. I know that they cannot sing in this register.
Right.
And so what happens in the middle of the song is that it go for one key, and then they drop it when they realize, yo, we can't reach, we can't,
real quick.
we can't reach it. And I'm like,
you just realized this,
and I'm like, yo, at least get the pianist a signal or something. So I was playing, and I'm just like, I'm like, and everybody in the congregation can probably see my face, even though I got my mask on. But I'm like, yo, what the world is going on? So it was frustrating. And afterwards, I was like, yo, we're gonna have a meeting after church. we gonna talk about this. And so we ironed out some things, you know what I mean? But it's important to have these kind of conversations, because it's like, yo,
Yeah.
even though you feel like, okay, this is just church, we have to make sure that we're on point and bring our best before God.
Absolutely.
That's why I tell everybody, this is what I tell whatever church I go play for, whoever called me to play for whatever. I tell them, first of all, when people give you the music, I need you to sing it. Don't sing it like you're going to sing it on Sunday. And sing it like you're going to sing it on Sunday, and like, let me know, is this too high? Is this too low? And another thing I tell everybody, hey, make sure that when you do this, learn all the parts, because you never know who's going to be there and who's going to be out. So.
Exactly. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had mad of the questions to ask you, but Zoom just told me I have 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. That's why I started. I see that. I mean, we can zoom through, and I'll just give the straight answers. I want to give you all your time and everything.
All right. So, have you been criticized for your style of music?
Absolutely. I make R&B and I play R&B. It's my favorite style of music. Of course, I do gospel. But my mom, It's like, again, she's still kind of in that old school. Well, you don't need to be playing. I was like, do you not realize so many gospel artists are R&B? J Moss, Smokey Norfolk, sometimes
Exactly.
Commission. It's a bunch of them. So absolutely,
Exactly. All right. So, where did you cultivate your style and sound?
everybody that I heard before. My take from certain R&B are definitely heavily influenced by gospel. People that I grew up listening to. There was a person who was playing for our church before I got there. People used to say, "Oh, you sound like him," and now nobody knows exactly who I sound like because I sound like myself. It's just like I'm in my own style now.
Okay. Okay. Now, you know what? I'm gonna skip 9 because it's probably the same thing as one of the other questions. What advice would you give to young musicians that are just starting out?
Practice, do it, do it, do it. Don't mess up. Not don't mess up. Do it. Mess up, practice, do it. Mess up, practice, and do it. And I would say taking out can't, take that completely out your vocabulary because I used to say, oh, well, that's too difficult. I can't play that. And I stopped saying that. And I started telling people, somebody asked me, well, can you learn this? Is this too tough? And I tell them, I could play anything with practice. You
Right.
can play anything with practice. So practice, do it, mess up, rinse, repeat.
That's excellent.
All right. All right. So, what are you currently teaching? I'm sorry. Are you currently teaching any musicians at the
I
moment?
was until
COVID really hit, and then kind of took a break. I'm probably getting ready to start up online keys lessons. I've had several people ask me about that. It's just not been something I've been super interested in because I'm usually like in person type, teaching. But that's another, not only just another source of income that I'm potentially blocking myself from, but it's a bunch of people that I can teach that I can help, and it's more of them. So at the time right now, no, but I'm definitely probably about to get into actually online teaching.
Okay. Okay. That's not bad. It's not bad. Now, where do you draw your strength from?
Sleep. Sleep. Going to sleep. I can ignore everything. I'm going to bed. Hey, your car just got repossessed. I'm going to sleep.
hey, we got this gig.
Hey, man, you got to go do this. I'm going to go to sleep real quick. No, in all seriousness though, like that's kind of where I can recharge. I go home and just being by myself because I'm an ambivert, but I'm mostly introverted now because life be lifing for real.
Right.
And it's just kind of like recharge being by myself and then praying and just kind of getting back grounded and you know, and then every now and then hopping on the game, talking to my friends. It's just like I don't have any drama or any issues. I can just talk to them about whatever we talking about and laugh and game, and that's it. And then when I come back out, all right, cool, we can get back at it. So
Okay. Okay. Now, last question I got for you. Uh, do you read sheet music or do you play by ear?
I used to read sheet music, but and I've always been playing by ear. So whatever I hear, I'm learning and learning it probably by ear, or if it's really difficult and I don't have a whole lot of time, YouTube videos. But I used to learn by. No, I'm sorry, I didn't used to learn. I used to play by sheet music when I was in college. I actually learned how to read piano music at that time. But don't ask me to do it now because I probably can't. I'm gonna be honest with you. So just straight up by ear.
Yeah, I feel like some of the best musicians start out by reading sheet music, and then after a while, they kind of develop their own, I guess, style, flavor, or taste, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Because there's a difference between someone that knows sheet music and knows how to play by ear and pick things up, and a person that just plays sheet music. You can tell how when they start off a gospel song, it's not going to be the same way that you or somebody else might do it. You're not going to
right.
hear do 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 do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's going to be some do 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 do. You know what I mean? It's going to be
It's always something different,
yeah,
some different
yeah.
flavor.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta realize, like, you gotta work with everybody. There's some churches that will actually require, oh, well, we want this guy to play sheet music. Well, I mean, that's good to know, but if you don't want someone that freestyles also at the same time, I mean, to have both of those qualities, I think, are good. But if a person just plays sheet music, I feel like they're really limited as to
Yeah.
what they can play. Because the person that just plays hymns is not like the person that can play hymns, contemporary gospel, a little bit of jazz in between. You know what I mean? There are differences.
Right.
You know, but
Now, you
go ahead.
sure you have any? It look like we got a few more minutes. If you ain't got no more questions or nothing like that.
I think we ran through everything. All right. Um. Yeah, I'm just. What can I say? All right, so we have about 2 minutes left, and basically, just tell everybody what your TikTok's about.
Oh, uh, well, I do mostly comedy, and I do it's not even mostly comedy. Mostly comedy on TikTok. Do half and half music as well. Y'all can find me on YouTube. It's where all my comedy is. At Jaydell, Jaydell. On TikTok, same name, same spelling. Jaydell93 though. And on Instagram as musical genius. I'm sorry, musical underscore genius. MUSICAL_GENIIUS. I do comedy, I do music, and, making a beat, or maybe I do a rap verse on TikTok and skits and everything. Like, if y'all want to come through, join us. Go watch my last video on TikTok. That would be great. That would be helpful because TikTok be playing with your boy views a lot.
Exactly.
Man, TikTok be making me upset.
Oh boy, don't we know it, man.
But yeah, subscribe to the YouTube, and go follow the Instagram. That's where most of my music. No, I'm sorry, that's where pretty much all my music is. So YouTube is comedy, Instagram is music, TikTok is both.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful experience with Jaydell, aka Jeremiah Brown, and um, make sure that you check out his music pages, check out his comedy, because he really has some eye-opening skits that really make you open up your eyes, especially the one where he talks about the mental health issues and the things that men have to go through in secret. Please make sure that you watch that one if you find it, or I don't know if I should tell him to watch the Caribbean one because they may get a little offended.
Forgot about that, but I appreciate you for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Definitely, and I appreciate you for being here, man. Sorry for the whole camera situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, technology.
Yeah, what can I say? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm gonna be back very soon. You know I have a lot of interviews lined up. Thank you guys for joining me. Y'all take care. Jaydell, peace, my brother. Take care, man.
See you, man.
All right.